You may already know that people who work in tech make a ton of money, but if you're anything like me, Java is a drink, Python is a snake, and C++ might have gotten you grounded in middle school. If you're money hungry, competitive, and intelligent, and don't have a medical or law degree, tech sales is probably for you. And today I'll be going over 4 reasons why. Howdy y'all, my name's Big Country and I got my start in tech sales by helping nearly a dozen tech companies build successful sales campaigns. And now I help tech companies hire and retain top-notch salespeople. Before we get into the 4 reasons why you should get into tech sales now, let's start with a couple basic definitions. First one's gonna be, what is tech sales? I define tech sales as being sales of a B2B product, business to business, B2B, that is mostly or completely comprised of software. Let's talk about some of the products that you're most likely to encounter exploring tech sales jobs. As a rule of thumb, if it ends in ass, it's probably tech sales. Number 1 product is SaaS. SaaS is software as a service. All this is renting somebody else's software, paying for it on a month-to-month or year-to-year basis over time. Under the SaaS umbrella, we have a couple of different components to it. Number 1 that I'll bring up, common one, is FinTech. FinTech is often a type of SaaS, and what differentiates it from the others is there's often lots of compliance needs that need to be satisfied, and the purpose of FinTech products is to help making payments easier for consumers and for businesses, and also for businesses to help get paid easier and to get paid more. Number 2 is cybersecurity. So cybersecurity, I look at it as the insurance policy of the tech world. There's lots of attacks going on today, and there's an ever-evolving landscape of hackers and attackers looking to take advantage of businesses' resources, whether it be credit card info or PII. Another common one that you'll see is HR tech. This could be things like payroll, online portals for benefits administration, or something that helps track candidates who are going through an interview process. All this falls into what I call is HR tech. MarTech is another big one. A big thought leader in the space is HubSpot. While they are primarily a CRM, they also do lots of stuff that help businesses analyze who's the best customer out there, how can I better appeal to them, and then how can I track how my marketing campaigns are doing. And then 2 other really common types of SaaS products out there, CRMs, big example being Salesforce or HubSpot, and then also ERPs. And for ERP, there's companies like Oracle. 3 more asses for you. There's also infrastructure as a service. These are things like AWS, Microsoft Azure, Office 365. This is kind of the nuts and bolts of what your business actually operates on. So whether or not you're in the office or fully remote, this is your emails, your Excels, your Word documents. This is how the entire organization collaborates together, the infrastructure of the business. Additionally, under the tech sales umbrella, I also have cloud computing and cloud storage. So as we all know, everything's moving to the cloud. Cloud storage is simply, let's say you have a Microsoft OneDrive. If you've ever used Dropbox before, that's an example of cloud storage. And businesses are the same way. They need that kind of stuff. Server racks take up a lot of space. And if you have enterprise level of data that you need stored, you're probably going to get some cloud storage at some point. On top of that, we also have cloud computing. So when it comes to IT and technical resources, there's 2 pieces of umbrella there are. There's compute and then there's storage. Storage is where the data is stored, and then your compute, that's your RAM. That's how much processing power you have to make your data run and process your data. And then as a 5th component to the tech sales umbrella, I'll add for right now software development as a service, or SDAS, 5th ass and last ass. When companies have a particular software development need, let's say they want to create a nice user interface for a new website that they're doing, or they want to process some type of data from new customers or something, that's when they'll often consult with an SDAS or software development as a service company to build that software for them and help them integrate it with all of their native systems. Number one, this is gonna sound ultra corny, but the number one reason why you should get into technology sales now specifically is because the industry is future-proof. Selling software, selling technology is the only way that you can sell something that exists now that did not exist 2 weeks ago. I tell folks all the time who are selling some type of finite resource that you are much less prone when you're selling technology to greater economic impacts. If the supply chain is messed up, that's going to affect car sales. It's going to affect logistics sales. If the population starts to decline rapidly, that's going to affect insurance sales. If there's another 2008, real estate sales is not going to be as much fun. The beauty of software is that something new is made every day, rather than there being physical something that already exists that can be transformed. All software is just code that it took a very highly educated person to type up and create into an application that you can then monetize. What's great about this is the profit margins are super high on software. On average, it's about 70%. Whereas if you run a restaurant, you're looking at about maybe 5, hopefully 10% profit margin on the products that you sell. I'll let you know too, the most money I've ever made in my life, I've made during COVID after starting a career in technology sales. Let's be real, robots and AI are taking over the planet. Doctors, lawyers, even artists, editors, truck drivers, everything you can think of is being replaced by Skynet. Just watch the movie Automation and the Future of Jobs by Magnus Stroganoff, and then try not to ask your doctor if Zoloft is right for you. If you want to be a winner and not a weenie, and if you want to be Skynet and not end up like Sarah Connor, then you need to check out reasons 2, 3, and 4. Reason number 2, selling tech B2B is not a slimy sales job. Slimy sales jobs often revolve around B2C, that's business to consumer sales, where a salesperson is taking advantage of an uneducated customer and forcing them to make a decision that they will likely later on regret. If you've ever sold timeshares, solar panels, or those used cars, that's what I'm talking about. In B2B sales, this is virtually impossible. It's really understood that there's lots of highly educated people who normally have to be making decisions on the purchase of software that might sometimes cost hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. So most of your job is really not high pressure negotiating and trying to get one over on somebody. It's serving as a valuable educator and resource, business partner, business consultant to your customer, and helping them solve pain points and unique business needs that at the end of the day are going to help their business run better and make everybody more money. Number 3, the career trajectory is exponential. Your career trajectory in tech sales is going to look like the right half of the letter U. Name me another job that you can think of right now where you could get promoted 4 times in 1 year, and every time you get promoted, you're not only making more commission and a higher percentage of each deal, but your base pay goes up as well. Let's say you want to be a doctor. It's going to take you at least 3 years to get through residency, internship, and finally end up where you're going to be. And that's not even including all the money you're going to have to take out just to get to the first stage. The way I put it, when you're in tech sales and you're operating with highly intelligent, highly educated people, a lot of times at the IT departments of companies of all different shapes and sizes, over time, this is going to build your business acumen up a whole lot. And should you ever want to create a business one day, you're going to have way more connections that you would with some other back-end type of job. And you'll also just know way more about business as well. Additionally, being plugged into a technology sales organizations means that you're going to have to be very well spun up on all the new developments because, like I said, it's really rapidly developing, and you're going to know much more about the grander market of what's an excellent industry. It's going to make you a better investor. The great thing about technology sales is you don't have to wait years and years to get promoted. You don't have to wait years and years to just get a raise. You can give yourself a raise today. You can work harder, work smarter, or show some form of leadership. Maybe you can just hit your number and hit that next step after your first month. When it comes to technology sales and a performance-based career, at the end of the day, what that means is you get promoted as soon as you're ready. If you're stuck in a dead-end career, or maybe you've been showing out and beating everyone else on your team, not in technology sales, and you wish, hey, I wish I was either making as much money as proportional to what I was making the company, or I just wish that there was a chance for me to get promoted. Technology sales is the option. The fourth reason you should want to get into tech sales now is because the money is great. Check it out. Inflation is the highest it's ever been. Check out this graphic. It's like 8 times or something this year. Who knows when it's going to end? There's all this inflation and wages are not catching up. If you go out there and get a regular job, there is no guarantee that you will be able to afford a cookie in 5 years. Technology sales is safe, and it's also one of the fastest ways to get out there and start making a ton of money fast. In reality, if you're not making over 6 figures by your 3rd year, you either suck or you work for a booty company. Now, if you're decent, you can pretty reasonably expect to be over 6 figures in just your 2nd year. Just to start out, let's say you're pretty average as an SDR, you can reasonably expect to make between 55 to 80K your very first year. As an account executive, that's a senior salesperson. Industry average right now, getting promoted to that is 18 months from an SDR seat into that. You can reasonably expect to be making between 90 to mid 6 figures. Now, as a highly tenured account executive, maybe a strategic or enterprise account executive, it's not uncommon to be seeing W-2s that are north of 500K. And I've talked to a handful of people who have made over $1 million in just 1 year. Additionally, because the tech industry is so high growth, if you ever work for a startup or maybe just a smaller tech company, a big piece of the compensation plan is often equity. And I've talked to people who have turned millionaire overnight simply because their company IPO'd or they got acquired or there was some other type of event that allowed them to cash out on that equity that they were granted for rolling the dice on being one of their first salespeople. So to wrap it all up, guys, if you're money motivated, if you're hungry, if you're intellectually curious, and you want to work in air conditioning, technology sales is probably for you, and right now is the time. Like my video, subscribe to Big Country, bang the notification bell, and leave a comment below telling me what you thought. See you next time.